walk in rain.
Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your light. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Come share a rose.
Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
We welcome each other into this place of love, inclusion, and compassion. We create sacred space together. Whoever you are,
Whoever you are,
whomever you love,
whomever you love,
wherever you are,
wherever you are, on your life's journey,
you are welcome here.
you are welcome here.
Whatever the color of your skin,
Whoever you are,
or your country of origin,
whomever you love,
whatever your gender or the source of your faith,
wherever you are, on your life's journey,
whoever you are.
you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here.
We now light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Blessed is the fire of our faith and the chalice of our community.
Blessed is the living tradition that is carried forward in our work and in our love.
Blessed is the transient flame we kindle here.
Blessed is the illuminating moment of our gathering.
Blessed is the light of the eternal.
Blessed is the sacred call of life to which we give ourselves an answer. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung, through every land, by every tongue.
Good morning. My name is Molly Castle, and I am pleased to be our youth lay worship leader for this year. My family has been coming to First Unitarian since I was in kindergarten, and I have had the pleasure in partaking in 3 years of OWL during my time in the RE program here. Yeah. For anyone unfamiliar, OWL stands for Our Whole Lives and is a more comprehensive version of sex ed that covers topics related to growing up and dealing with adult roles in society. Because of OWL, I learned about sex and the body, but also about healthcare and what a safe friendship and romantic relationship should look like. For those of you currently in OWL, the education you are receiving might not feel like a blessing. But I realized how lucky I was to have had OWL so early when I took my first public school sex ed class in my freshman year of high school. For context, I had my third year of OWL in 7th grade. The classes I took at my high school were far too late to warn me and my peers about much of puberty and didn't cover nearly as much material as they should have. Across the country, reproductive rights are under threat, and our newly inaugurated president has made no secret about his stances on the issue. We need to recognize the value of programs like OWL and the safe space we have here at First Unitarian to discuss issues related to reproductive rights and bodily autonomy. A lack of education is a lack of safety. We need to recognize the increasing scarcity of spaces like this one, now that necessary healthcare is inaccessible in many states. Take care to make each space you enter as inclusive as this one, and appreciate the unique environment here that lets children understand the power they deserve to have over their own lives and bodies as they continue to grow. With that, I invite you all to turn and greet one another.
AJ, can you move over? Can I sit right there? Is that cool? Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Anyone else want to come up? You're very welcome to join us up here. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Hi. Are you ready? Psst. Ready? My name is Becky. This is my body. It belongs to me. And I better like it, because it's the only one I'm going to get. This is it. That's your body. That's your body. Belongs to you. Yeah. I know. I hope my bones keep it together. Come and sit down. It's my job to keep my body healthy and to do things that make my body feel good, like swimming. Do you like swimming? I love swimming in cold water. Good. What else do you like to do with your body? What do you like to do? Oh, he likes to play video games. Yes! He likes to play video games. What do you like to do with your body? It's great. Play with toys. Who likes to run really, really fast? Who likes to sleep? It's them out there. They like to sleep. How about eating ice cream? Yes. Or salads. It's all of our jobs to do things that make our bodies feel good. It's also our responsibility to keep our body healthy and safe. And sometimes doing things that are healthy and safe don't feel good, like going to the doctor, getting a vaccine. That doesn't feel so good. That's not fun. But it's important. And when we ride our bikes, we need to wear a helmet. And when we drive a car, we need to buckle up or sit in a car seat. Those are really, really important things to keep our body healthy and safe, but they don't feel good. And that's okay. And also, sometimes we need help.
It feels good when there's a car seat.
It feels good to be snug and sound, right?
Car seat.
It feels good to be safe.
My car seat does not have a sound.
Okay, that's good. Safe and sound just means safe. It's just a fancy way of saying safe. Sometimes we need help being safe and we need help taking care of ourselves. Like when my daughter was a baby, it was my job to keep her healthy and safe and clean and feed her because babies can't do things by themselves yet. We had to teach them. And then when my grandmother was getting older and her body was feeling more frail, then she needed help to take care of herself and be clean and healthy. And that's okay too. There are times in our lives when we need more help with our bodies and less help with our bodies. Our bodies are always changing. It's so complicated. Man, it's such a big responsibility. And here in this sacred community, we understand that, and we believe it's important. You're going to tell me in 1 minute. We believe it's really important to help each other to be safe and healthy in our bodies and also have fun. And that's why we teach OWL that Molly was just talking about. I took OWL way back in the day, and so did my kids. And in that class, we learn about how our bodies work and how to keep them clean and safe and how to help each other, and also how one body plus another body can sometimes combine together and make a whole new body. Like, what? That's amazing. And we also learn about how when we get older, our bodies change and become more complicated and how to take care of them and what to do with them. And it's really important for us in this sacred space to teach each other that. The other thing that we learn is how to respect each other's bodies because everybody's different, right? Some people like swimming in cold water and some people don't. Some people like hugs and some people don't. Just now, when we were all saying good morning, some people were hugging and some people were high-fiving or shaking hands, and some people were just smiling at each other. And those are all really great ways of saying good morning. Did anybody give you a hug? Not yet?
No.
Well, if you... One second. Yeah, you could tell me a second. So, one of the things that we practice here is respecting each other's bodies and not like grabbing each other or giving hugs if they don't want. So we can do things like, do you want a hug? And you can say, yeah, or nah. And those are both the right answer. You want to practice? They can practice too. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You want a hug? Nah. How about high five? Yeah. You want a hug? Yeah. High five? Yeah. High five? Yeah. Yeah. See? Not so hard. Thank you for bringing your body to this sacred space today. Now we're going to do something really fun. There's a little surprise. We have new ribbons. It's going to look like a new rainbow. And while we go under the rainbow, I want you to think of what you want to do with your body. Maybe you want to jump or hop or swim or dance or tiptoe or just walk. Ready? Let's go.
are the ones we've been waiting for. These are the words of June Jordan from her poem in honor of South African women. It's been a very long week. What's important right now is who's in this room, who's chosen to be together. We are in community to bolster one another, to be present. I see you. I see you seeing one another, high-fiving, fist-bumping, and hugging one another. We will need to keep doing this and more in the coming weeks and months and years. Growing up in the Bible Belt region of the South in the 1980s and 90s, I had a front row seat to the growth of the anti-abortion movement. It was an ugly and vicious movement, probably uglier and more vicious than maybe some of you realize or remember. I didn't remember just how bad it was myself until I took myself down that road for this message to you all. Women's health clinics were firebombed. People entering clinics were attacked, sometimes physically and always verbally, with people screaming in their faces. The anti-abortion group, Operation Rescue, blocked clinic doors, with protesters sometimes crawling like babies in front of the door and then lying on the ground so that they completely blocked the entrance. And my own husband, who was a clinic escort at that time, remembers very clearly the times that they had to lift patients up and carry them over the protesters. When they reached the door to the clinic, the staff inside would have to literally push the door open against the weight of the protesters, just enough for the patient to slip through the opening to safety inside. Depending on the state and county, there was little to no police intervention. And that is not the worst of it. Doctors who provided abortion care were assassinated. In the early days of what I remember being the internet, a list of women's healthcare providers and home addresses was circulated. It would be updated with a red line through the names of the doctors who'd been killed. A hit list of abortion providers created by terrorists who called themselves pro-life. I share this history because we must understand the depth and violence of opposition that reproductive health care providers and patients have faced and continue to face. Witnessing this violence as teenagers gave me and my friends a lot to be angry and fearful about. It made us angry at religion, at the system as a whole. This system that seemed to support this violence by pretty much looking the other way. We were angry at the police for standing by and doing nearly nothing. We felt like, as young female-identified people, our freedoms were not only not guaranteed, but they were very much under attack. We felt so angry that we'd been told we had equal rights when we so clearly did not. How many groups or instances can you think of where there was a right that was given that's been taken away? In short, our anger radicalized us. But we were the lucky ones. Others were crushed by a feeling of helplessness and hopelessness under this oppression. It turned out, however, that my circle wasn't alone. What I came to learn later is that while some religious groups wielded their faith as a weapon, other religious leaders saw a different calling. They understood that the true work of faith is not to condemn, but to support those in need of compassion with courage. Now, we are the ones who've been called to stand against such violence. In 1967, when abortion was still illegal in most states, a group of ministers and rabbis, including several Unitarian Universalist clergy, formed the Clergy Consultation Service. While Operation Rescue was blocking clinic doors, these religious leaders were opening doors, creating networks of safe care, counseling women with compassion, and standing publicly for the right of individuals to make their own moral choices about reproduction. They put their freedom on the line, risking arrest to help people access safe medical care. They understood that reproductive justice is at its heart about human dignity. And what is more religious than that? Human dignity, which is a core value of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Just as they answered the call then, we are the ones being called today. The UU leaders who joined the Clergy Consultation Service embodied values that remain at the heart of our faith today. Their work shows us how our deepest religious values call us to do reproductive justice work. Deep values, such as those articulated in the Unitarian Universalist bylaws as adopted by our member congregations: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and interdependence. You may wonder, how do those values manifest in this fight? Well, they manifest the way they do in all of these fights for justice. Justice and equity remind us that reproductive rights are fundamentally about human rights and dignity. Transformation calls us not just to provide care, but to transform the systems that create reproductive health care inequities. Pluralism teaches us that there is no single religious or moral truth about reproduction that should be imposed on everyone equally. We are called by our UU faith to honor the diverse ways people understand these deeply personal decisions. We already live this value through our whole lives. The program Molly mentioned in her greeting. This offers comprehensive sexuality education and honors human dignity and diverse experiences. Our kindergarten and first grade OWL class begins next week. Right this very moment, downstairs in the Francis White room, our middle schoolers are engaging in this transformative learning, led by 4 dedicated volunteers from this very congregation. Generosity calls us to open our hearts, our doors, and our resources to support reproductive health care access, just as those clergy members did decades ago, often at great personal risk. These values, our values, remind us We are the ones who must put love into action. We cannot expect anyone else to do it. Our UU principle of interdependence teaches us that reproductive justice isn't a single issue, nor is it an isolated one. It's connected to every struggle for human dignity and liberation. I hear this sometimes, the single issue debate. Oh, all you care about is this, or all you care about is that. Well, guess what, everyone? We are gonna have to all care about all of it. We really do. We see the connection in struggle for human dignity and liberation in profound and practical ways. When we talk about economic justice, we must ask, who can afford contraception, prenatal care, or the cost of raising a child, and who cannot? Who can take time off work to travel hundreds of miles to access care? And who cannot? Who has paid family leave? And who does not? And let's just name the truth. Wealthy people will always have access to safe abortions, regardless of the law, while poor people are punished, in essence, for their economic position. When we stand in solidarity with immigrants, we must face the horrific reality of sexual assault in detention centers and the separation of parents from children. There is no prenatal health care or reproductive care in most, if not all, immigration detention centers. How many of you saw the image of the migrants packed onto the boat holding the newborn baby that was born in that boat while they were trying to get to safety? This is also an immigration issue. When we work for LGBTQ liberation, we're fighting for everyone's right to bodily autonomy and family formation. Trans and non-binary people face particular barriers in accessing reproductive health care, often encountering discrimination or providers who either don't understand their needs or refuse to care for them, especially in rural areas. When we confront systemic racism, we must acknowledge the long history of reproductive oppression used against communities of color, from forced sterilization to maternal mortality rates that disproportionately impact Black women. In the United States, Black birthing people are 3 times more likely to die due to complications during pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum life than white birthing people. 3 times more likely to die. When we fight for environmental justice, we recognize how environmental toxins and climate disasters affect maternal and child health, particularly in marginalized communities. During ever-worsening climate disasters, people need health care and are often left without access. In the US, 9 of the 10 states most likely to suffer dire consequences from climate change are in the South, a region that also contains states with some of the most restrictive abortion bans. Looking abroad, during Pakistan's extreme floods in 2022, roughly 650,000 pregnant Pakistanis found themselves without necessary prenatal care. And when we work for peace, we must address how women in conflict zones face increased sexual violence and decreased access to reproductive care. War doesn't just destroy infrastructure, it destroys access to all forms of healthcare. In March 2022, a Ukrainian maternity hospital was bombed by Russian forces, taking one pregnant person's life while injuring and traumatizing several others. Throughout the Israel-Hamas war, tens of thousands of pregnant people gave birth in tents, with bombs dropping around them, some having C-sections with no anesthesia. I had a C-section. I can't imagine. It's a nightmare, right? As you can see, all of these connections aren't abstract. They are lived realities of people in our community and around the world. Understanding these intersections helps us build a more comprehensive vision of justice, one that recognizes that reproductive justice can't exist without racial justice, economic justice, environmental justice, and peace. It is all connected. In this web of connection, we are the ones who must protect and strengthen every strand. And right now, this web of interconnected justice issues is under unprecedented strain. I know you all know this. I know you've been feeling it all week. You've been reading the news. You've been hearing about it. I'm not telling you things you don't know. Sometimes when we come together and hear it together, it helps us fortify for the ongoing fight. The consequences of repealing Roe v. Wade have already been significant. Accessing any kind of reproductive-related care, not just abortive care, is now measurably harder. There are many, many young adults without health care who go to places like Planned Parenthood to get their health care. When those clinics are shut down, there's nowhere left for them to go. It's also measurably harder in part because the doctors themselves are leaving these states because they cannot do their jobs, despite hating having to leave anyone behind. More parents and more children are dying. That is the reality of these laws. In the 18 months after the US Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, leading to more than a dozen states to implement near-total abortion bans, hundreds more babies died than in previous years. This doesn't feel pro-life to me. This is because pregnant people are now being forced to carry to term fetuses that are known to be incompatible with life. Abortion bans have also threatened pregnant women's health. Dozens of people from around the country have said that due to highly restrictive bans, they were denied medically necessary abortions. Medically necessary. Rape survivors have often been forced to carry, and are being forced to carry, resulting pregnancies to term by the tens of thousands. That's a big number. It's a big number of unwanted pregnancies and also a big number of rape. And there's also concerns about the still incoming domino effect, where other aspects of sexual, bodily, or personal autonomy will be under attack, now that protections under Roe are gone. And let's just also name the truth that the leader of our nation is a rapist. This reality demands action from people of faith. Yes, from people of faith. We can call on our faith to demand action from that core, from that center of our values. Just as the clergy consultation service responded to the crisis of their time, we are called to respond to ours. In this critical moment, we are the ones being called to act. The religious leaders who formed the clergy consultation service in 1967 showed us that faith communities can be powerful forces for reproductive justice. Today, we are called to continue their legacy in new ways. It's not 1967 anymore. It's not the 80s. It's not the 90s. There are new ways that we will have to gather and have to fight for this very important right. First, we can make our congregation a sanctuary of support. We do think of ourselves as a sanctuary of support, don't we? We do. We don't always think about how we can enact that, though. We can host educational forums. We can have sermons about reproductive justice. We can provide meeting space for organizers and create support circles for those navigating reproductive healthcare decisions. I think that would be a really great service, to have a support circle for folks who are making these decisions and trying to navigate the system. Second, we can put our resources into action. We have resources. Look at all of us in this room today. Between us, we know that there are enough of us who can help others. We can support the New York Abortion Access Fund, which helps people access care regardless of their ability to pay. We can volunteer and support Planned Parenthood of Greater New York. A member of their staff is here today and will be at a table in the Undercroft during fellowship hour after the service. And they will be joined by our Social Justice Committee co-chair, Emily Hockaday, and Lee Pardee, who volunteers with the Haven Coalition and can tell you about that work. Which brings me to my next action item, which is to volunteer with the Haven Coalition. They provide overnight housing and support for people traveling to New York City for abortion care. And thirdly, we can be a public witness for reproductive justice. We can show up at city council and state legislative hearings. Everything isn't all just about New York City, too, right? Like, we live in New York State, and there's a lot that happens outside of the city that impacts this issue as well. We can write letters to editors. You know these things, right? But what if we identify ourselves as people of faith when we do it? What if we reclaim that identity as people of faith, speaking from a moral grounding and a moral center? We don't all have the platform that the Right Reverend Bishop Buddy had, right? When she spoke truth to power at that inaugural service, right? But we can do the things that we can do and that we have the power to do. We can support comprehensive sex education in our schools and continue investing in our own Our Whole Lives program, which is a living example of how faith communities can provide young people with the knowledge and the values they need to make informed decisions about their bodies and about their relationships. I've personally witnessed the transformative power of OWL in the lives of our young people. I know several adults now in their 30s and 40s who went through OWL when they were young people in middle school, and they talk about it. If you ask them what was the best thing about growing up UU, what do you still think about, what made an impact on your actual lived life today, they say OWL. OWL, what empowered them to make decisions about their own bodies and relationships. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, we can break the silence around reproductive justice in our own lives. We can share our stories, we can support our friends and family members, and we can challenge the shame and stigma. The clergy who risked arrest in the 1960s didn't have certainty. They had conviction. They didn't have permission. They had purpose. The clinic escorts, doctors and nurses who risked their lives during the height of Operation Rescue did so because of their conviction and purpose, their courage and commitment. Let's all take a deep breath. Yes, this is a big and difficult topic to tackle, and it is so important, and there are so many more things to say about it. And what we do know, what I know, is that today we are called to act with courage and commitment, grounded in our values and strengthened by our love for humanity. Like those brave ones who went before us, we are the ones we've been waiting for. The time is now, and we are the ones who must answer this call. May it be so.
Can we all stand and sing "What We Need Is Here"? It's really simple. Those are the lyrics. That's all. What we need is here. What we need is here. What we need is here. Look no further, it's here. We need is here. What you need is here. Sing what need. Declare that you need it's here. Need is here. What we need is here. What is here? If you need joy, it's here. What it is here. You brought it with you. It's here. What we need. Everything you need is in the room. What we need here. You gotta tap into what you need. What we need is here. What we need, what we need is here. Here. One more time. What? Just look around. Is here. What we need, what we need is here.
This month's offering will be shared with Undue Medical Debt. You can read more about this organization in your order of service. Our offering will now be received with gratitude.
Will you take a breath with me? Let us settle into our bodies. If it's comfortable for you, gently close your eyes. Release your jaw. Breathe. Now release your shoulders. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slow, deep, steady. Allow this breath to really settle in the deep recesses of your body, and then blow it all away. Keep breathing intentionally during this moment of quiet meditation. The overwhelm is real. The fear is real. The exhaustion is real. And this community is real. That deep breath that just filled your lungs, that too is real. We are understandably feeling unmoored, disturbed, overwhelmed, and distracted by the events of the past week. We gather here together to be reminded of oneness, solidarity, and the love of community. We need settled, grounded bodies and spirits in order to meet what is hard and hurting, so that we may rise to what is beautiful and life-giving. Spirit of life and God of many names and one abundant love, we pray for all of those suffering, Spirit of life and love, give us strength. Give us strength to wake up each morning. Give us strength to find the balance between being informed and caring for our spirits. Allow love to be our guide as we figure out how to meet this moment. As we protect ourselves if we are vulnerable and being targeted. Guide us as we are figuring out how to stand up for and with those who are being targeted at this time. Spirit of life and love, protect those who most need it now. Protect all those whose very lives are in danger as legislation emboldens hate. Protect those of us who are targeted regardless of citizenship status, who are targeted based on the color of our skin or the pronunciation of our last names. May we find the courage to speak truth to power. May we find the humility needed to ask for help. May we find the bravery to stand with those most in need. May we find the willpower needed to stay connected and not turn away. May we find all this together. We pray for all those suffering from the devastation of war, famine, and oppression. In our own community, we pray for Kate Ramsey, mourning the death of her father, Richard, on Monday, January 13th. We hold Kay Corquette in our prayers. And we pray for Clancy Blair and Sibel Raver. And now into this sacred space, we may speak aloud or add to the chat the names of other loved ones we are praying for this morning. If you need to be heard or if there is something on your mind that you would like to share, we have a space for you after the service. Come see Michelle Kuchuk, a member of our caring ministry in the Chapel of All Faiths. Now is the time in our service when we light candles of joys and sorrows.
So great to get a chance to hear that beautiful organ. My favorite theologian, and that's not saying a whole lot because I'm not a theologian myself and can't say I've read a lot of them, but my favorite one is a guy by the name of James Luther Adams. And he said, I had to actually look it up because I didn't want to paraphrase him, but he said, the resources, both divine and human, that are available for the achievement of meaningful change justify an attitude of ultimate optimism. What we need is indeed right here. If this is your first or second or third time visiting us today and you haven't yet had a chance to stand up and introduce yourself, we would love to get a chance to say good morning. Is there anyone here who is here for the first time? Stand up, tell us your name and where you live. Yeah, wow. Gonna start over here, yeah. Welcome. Let's go this way and we'll swing around. Yeah, go ahead. Welcome. Yeah. Welcome. Let's start in the back, yeah. Great. Welcome. 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 Yeah. Yay. Welcome. Welcome. Did I get everybody? Everybody up in the balconies? Okay. Thank you. There are welcome cards in your pews. We also have more welcome cards downstairs where we'll have coffee and tea. Please consider filling one out. If you do, I will make sure you have a name tag when you come back next week. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and I'll make sure that you have a subscription to our weekly e-news so you know what's happening here at First Unitarian. I heard that there are cookies downstairs in honor of Jason Hirschberger's birthday. And many of you know Jason because he is often our head usher, so you may have had a chance to shake his hand at some point when you came in. So thank you, Jason. So I have a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to thank everyone who attended, who worked at, who volunteered for our Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. Over 80 people attended. It was absolutely a fantastic day, and hopefully it will be an annual occurrence. We'll see how that goes in the days and months ahead. There is a memorial service this afternoon for our dear departed Barbara Kennedy. That will be in the Francis White Room at 1 o'clock. And as Megan said, Carissa from Planned Parenthood is in the Undercroft, and she is here to answer any questions you might have about how you can work for reproductive rights going forward. Coming up, this coming Friday is open mic night. So if you're a singer, a speaker, a poet, or someone who likes to hear speakers, poets, and singers, please come. It's at 6:30 in the chapel next door. There is a congregational meeting on February 23rd. This is a really important meeting. If you are a member of this congregation, please try to attend. We need 2/3 of our membership to be there for a vote that's going to be taken that day. And if you are interested, if you think this is your spiritual home, if you feel comfortable here, and you would like to sign our membership book on February 9th, please come talk to me downstairs. We just have a couple of weeks to get all of the paperwork in order. There is some bureaucracy. It's not too terrible, though. So please come talk to me downstairs. I would love to get a chance to see you and help you sign our membership book. And now, let's all sing together that wonderful hymn, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. It's number 170 in your gray hymnal.
Justice seeking. We are young and old together. We are a land of many colors.
We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. Prophetic people, what we need is all right here. Let us be together, let us be in community, and let us keep singing for our lives. Go in peace, knowing we are one and you are loved.